Anyway, I'm experimenting a little bit with that today. So I got a ground floor. It didn't have a patio or a balcony, and it was kind of like on their terms, it was a 2-bedroom, but it was like cheaper on the terms of this particular complex. But I thought I could make it cozy. But there was issues right from the beginning, and I was just like, oh my goodness. 1 second, 1 minute. Sorry, I thought I was gonna cough. But then one day I was sitting in the living room. My daughter got dropped off, and she was like, "You have a toy up on the window," and I'm like, "A toy on the window? What are you talking about?" And so I looked up, but my brain couldn't really process what she was seeing. I couldn't process what I was seeing, and so I stared at it, and eventually I realized it was a bat, hanging the way they do off the top of the window, and it was high up, almost near the ceiling. And it's not like you could open the window or open a door. There was no door. So I reported it to the leasing people to ask for advice, and they kind of made it sound like, we're going to send somebody over there. So I thought they really were. Of course, they never did. Nobody came. And nobody cared. And they were very dismissive. But that's not surprising, at least when you rent. So, it became this ongoing issue because I was mostly concerned with rabies, and of course the more research I did, the more I found that bats in the area that I live in don't really have rabies very often. It's actually much higher in raccoons. It's not super high in bats, but who wants to take that chance, So it was hanging there for the rest of the night, and we just kind of hid in our bedrooms. And every time I would come out, I would lay eyes on it, and shortly after 11 p.m. it was gone. It woke up and started its day, much like I do usually. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh great, now it's gonna hide. We actually went to a hotel because I had some points still, so it didn't cost me much. And I was mad. I sent email. I was like, nobody was being called a Karen back then, but they probably thought I was a Karen. Because I was seriously, you want me to wait all these business days for your wildlife specialty people to come out and search for it? So the maintenance or engineering people took a look at stuff, and of course the manager, with her attitude, was like, oh, they confirmed that all your windows are sealed. They confirmed that it had to be you letting the bat in the front door. Which, nothing could have sounded more ludicrous and ridiculous to me. bugs. Like I have killed bugs before and bees. But to be honest, sometimes I even feel bad about that. But I did feel bad for the bats because they were overpopulated outside and it wasn't their fault. You know, they're just looking, they're just curious, they're just looking for stuff. It's just trying to live just like the rest of us. So that was sad to me. And it really kind of ruined my day that day. It kind of broke my heart because I felt like it was so innocent. But I got over it because I realized, okay, well now we're done with this. And, you know, they've already said that everything is sealed and secure. Made me a little nervous though, right? Because if it's sealed and secure and you know it didn't come in the front door, how did it get in, right? So I was a little bit weary. I let it go. And I didn't want any more drama with the leasing people since I lived there, you know. So I forget exactly how much time went by. I want to say it was like a few days. But it was April at that point, and they did like routine spraying like in all the apartments for like preventative pest control, like right when it got to be spring. 1 second. Sorry, I'm gonna drink some of my soda. I don't know where that came from. I got an itch in my throat. Okay, so this guy, he was really friendly. He's an outside vendor, you know, he doesn't work with a leasing company. But I let him in that morning. It was about 9. And I had told him that I work, you know, the 12-hour night shift, so I was gonna go in my room, go to bed. Excuse me. And he was like, okay, it's fine, I'll be a few minutes, that's it. And then he's gonna move on to the other apartments. So, that was fine, right? I'm sorry. I hope this doesn't start up my stomach sounds, reflux sounds, throat sounds, whatever. So, I'm in my bedroom and I hear him like scream out, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what did he find? Like, with the way this apartment had been going, I was like, he could have found a scorpion for all we know. So I came out here, and he was like, a bat just flew at my face, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This can't be real. This can't be real. Sorry, I know that was loud. This cannot be real. This cannot be real. It cannot be real. I mean, like really, I was already stressed about regular life stuff. So he called the leasing agency. You know, he called them from my apartment as an outside vendor, you know, or outside, someone doesn't work for them that's contracted by them to report this, and they still were dismissive. Sorry, I'm trying to get through this. I really don't want to sneeze or cough. I left my iced coffee in the fridge so the ice wouldn't melt. So, he managed to kind of catch it because it came at him again. I think it might have been weak or injured, but it was still alive. And he had it like in this container thing that was like open. I forget. All I know is it wasn't suffocating at that point. And he was like, being, you know, from a regular pest control company, I guess he had some thought because he was like, well, maybe we should move the refrigerator, like me and him. I mean, he was more helpful than the people I rent from, and he didn't owe me anything, you know. Sorry, I thought I was going to cough again. Bad timing. So we pulled the refrigerator out, and there's a big hole in the wall. And I mean, it was significant. It was not a small hole. And I think it started to make me understand where all the problems that I had in the apartment were coming from. And I'm convinced, 100% convinced, that hole is where the bats came from. They got inside the wall somehow, because there was no other explanation for it. And it just bothered me that when they inspected the apartment after whoever So, that happened. And then, I realized that, like, had that hole not been found, I just would have kept getting random bats or other things for that matter. So it just bothered me because I felt like that was 100% on the apartment people and not me, but they sure didn't act like it, you know. But anyway, you can tell that when I think about it, when I relive it, I'm just like mad because they really messed with my anxiety and my peace of mind. And I paid extra money for the one bat to die in my room. You know, I did that and they didn't care. They were like, we absolutely can't, refund you for that. So it's like, but I had no choice. Like, what am I going to do? Just live in the living room until the bat starves? Or like, what? That's nonsense. Because I think I forgot to tell you that their wildlife people did come out and search the apartment when the first bat was still in the apartment and they did not find it. So their expertise was lacking. Also, they were one of the ones that confirmed that everything was secure, that there was no like way for it to get in. Remember my attitude-ish lady that was like, it came in the front door? I wanted to send that email with that picture of that ginormous hole to her personal email, but unfortunately I could not. I just sent it to their, generic one and let them know what we found. It just was a very stressful time because we also had to get rabies shots, and that was also another cost, which I felt like was really unfair to me. But we did get through the whole thing. This was one of the reasons of many that I wanted out of that apartment. But I didn't want to leave this complex, not because they're so great, because honestly, they're okay. They're fine. They meet the standards. However, they're all kind of like the same, right? They're all self-serving. They all got nonsense in their lease, and you just gotta find the one that causes you the least drama. And in my case, also is so close to work. So there was one manager, not the one I talked about before. She was actually nice and helpful. Probably one of the only people in leasing that I've ever found to be nice or helpful, or both. So she found me another apartment that in that community that was on the 3rd floor that had a balcony, saying like, I can help you transfer to that one. It'll actually, the rent that you'll be signing for that year will be less than what your new rate would be in this apartment that you don't want to stay in anyway. So it worked out nice. In that sense, it worked out nice. I got a better apartment, which is the one I live in now. I'm gonna knock on wood gently because everything's been good here, and I hope to just stay here until I move somewhere permanently. Like buy a house here or move out of state. I haven't decided. But I don't want to keep moving rentals. It's silly and stupid. It's not stupid if you did it. I don't think I was stupid to do it. It's exhausting to move a lot. And I've had a very chaotic life in that respect. I moved a lot as a kid. I moved a lot as a young adult. I've probably moved about 18 times. You know what I mean? And there are some people in my family that have lived in 3 places and they're the same age as me. I think it builds some sense of foundation and stability, and I have a lack of that. So I am done with the moving expenses, signing the leases. They're all gonna have their nonsense. Even if you get a rental special, it's still gonna have their nonsense. So I'm hoping to stay here until I can move somewhere permanent. That's the plan. But with that being said, that's the bad story. It was just much more stressful than it probably sounds when I tell it, because during it I was like, because I have a little bit of a reputation in my inner circle of being an overthinker and anxious and intense with my emotions. So some of the people that were trying to help, were kind of like, you're gonna overthink this to death, and it's like, yes I am. Especially because, like, what if I had just been like, I'm just gonna be chill. What if the pet did have rabies? Especially if it had been my child, you know what I mean? Instead of me, like, that was not a risk I could take. I just could not. So we erred on the side of caution, and we got those vaccine shots, which are their IM shots. They go into muscle. We got them in our deltoid, but you gotta go like on it's like, day 5, day 17, day 20. It's weird. It's like a series, and it's like randomly picked, it seems. Also, it was costly because the only place available was the ER. The ER was the only place that had them like in stock. You couldn't just like go to a doctor's office or to urgent care. So that sucked. source and nobody was willing to find it, and I kind of got lucky that that gentleman helped me find it, because man, that would have gone on and more bats would have lost their life, which is also unnecessary and ridiculous. So I do think that they said they have bat houses like in the trees, like in the property, because there are bats here, so they can go there, like to draw them there. So I thought that was kind of a good thing. Ow. Okay. Well, that's my bat story. I'm probably gonna cut it off here because I have some other stuff to do. And I wanted to practice, like I wanted to do like a really short, like comparing the mics with the close-up whispering, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to do 2 videos that are short because I feel like it's harder to do close-up whispers with this mic because it's like recording so darn loud. All I hear is this, you know, as soon as I play it back. So I don't know what that's about. I mean, I could do some cupped whispers before I finish out, I guess. I can't stop rocking because I got muscle pain. I have my Rainbow Bright shirt on today. If you can see it. I am in the living room. My hair is like, I have my hair up at work. It needs to be washed. It needs to be colored. I think I made a decision about what color to go with, though. What's resonating, weirdly enough, is to dye it back to like a dark color. Like I really liked it when it was like black violet, like it's black with this like purple tint, or it's black with a blue tint. And then I probably should do my eyebrows because they're light. But when it's really dark, I think it looks healthier and thicker. And also I have light blue eyes, and so they kind of look almost clear, like they pop when my hair is darker. I'm not sure about like looking old, looking young. Somebody will have to give me their opinion because I was going to try to use AI to see what I would look like currently at this stage in my life with ash blonde hair, because that's the color I was looking to dye it back to, because it's close to my natural color. But my natural color is like dirty blonde, and I don't like dirty blonde. So I wanted to see like how do I look exactly with this face at this age, at this weight, with that color hair. But I haven't gotten around to it. I mean, I joined ChatGPT and we've been having some interesting conversations, but I haven't done that part yet. And what resonated the other day was, it's weird because now that I'm in my 40s, I just want to like be true to who I am. Like I've come to this massive acceptance of myself that I thought I had in my 30s, but apparently there's more to it as you get even more wise. And not everybody's wise, but I feel like I've been through a lot. I just made a short video for another channel's subscribers do ASMR to try to bring some other people to check out my little channel, or our little channel. And I did it on like 20-year milestones and stuff, and I was like, wow, like how did this time fly by the way it did? It's absolutely crazy to me. Maybe I'll do that video. I'll grab the other mic and do that little short video here, I guess. Maybe I'll do a short comparing the mics up close too. I need to do my budget and my bills today. That is absolutely something I need to do. I was going to do my spiritual class today, as well as find a new show or movie to watch. So that was my plan for tonight, because I'm off tonight and I work the next 3 nights. I have to work the next 3 nights. And then I am off July 3rd through July 7th. That hopefully will be nice and not too difficult to go back. July 3rd I'm going to go swimming. I work the night before, and then I have a staff meeting, and then I'm going to go swimming for a couple hours. So hopefully that'll be fun, and maybe I can take the lo-fi mic. Maybe I can do like a little short while I'm at the